up, tribe? How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing great. Be a master manifestor. So let's get with some more teachings and knowledge to help you to expand and basically grow your life so you can create more of what you want in your life. You know, one of the biggest thought-provoking thoughts that I sit around and I think about all the time, and it's the thought that the true nature of reality and the universe may be beyond our comprehension. In other words, we will never be able to understand what reality is and the nature of reality and the universe is. We won't be able to understand it exponentially in our regular conscious mind because it is so limited. And I think of the analogy like ants. You know, ants, when you watch ants and you watch how they create their kingdom and how elaborate and how complex it is, and you see how they have these different structures and they actually look like highways for the queen, and would have different workers. You would say to yourself, man, these ants are very organized, or these ants are very smart, right? But when you think about the grandeur of all these things, the ants will never be able to grasp the concept, or the ant will never be able to understand what the earth is, what a continent, water, sky, you and I. It'll never be able to do that because it's not in its program or the way it's designed. And that's the big picture with us. We will never be able to understand until we are able to leave our limited mind, and then we have to enter into our higher mind. I believe once you enter into the higher state of consciousness, that's where it comes. Someone has a great question here. It says, how do we know that they don't know? Well, we could ask this question. What we don't know, we don't know. How do we know what we don't know? Well, the answer is, how do you know an ant don't know that? Well, you can look at their behavior. The behavior is different. And we observe our behavior, right? We're a product of our what? Our actions and our habits. Our behaviors will tell us whether we are capable of doing something or not. And I just want to show you the big picture to understand that there's levels to all of this stuff. There's levels. Yeah, we're all one. Someone comment here says, if we are all one, how do you know that don't know? Well, the thing is, even though we're all one, right? But we have different branches from the tree. And these different branches give us different fractals of consciousness. And the different levels of consciousness just gives us our awareness, our ability. For example, when we look at animals, they don't have a prefrontal cortex. What that basically means is your dog, or if you have a pet, they don't understand time. They don't understand logic or deep thinking. Yeah, they can watch your behavior and they can learn, but they don't understand any of that. An animal is constantly stuck in the present moment because they haven't developed that. We as humans, you would say we are on the highest totem pole of that. But even us as human beings, we don't have a great understanding of the universe. I mean, we just have surface level understanding of the universe. However, I do believe, though, that we do have a tool that what can give us ultimate understanding of the universe. See that? Question here is, can you tell me the sign that we might get from the universe? Yes, the universe gives you sign in many ways. It gives you sign in your dreams. It gives you sign in synchronicities. It gives you signs in your feeling. It gives you signs from people. I want to manifest a yellow car next to you or behind you as we did in the last live. Yeah, let's see if it could happen. It may happen. But look, so I believe that we can have very deep understanding of the universe and of the nature of reality so that we can change our lives. But I believe we can only do this by exiting our conscious logical mind. And what that means is we have to learn to balance the ego versus the higher part of the mind. And one way I found to do that is to treat my ego very inferior to me. Put my ego as a child, which gives me the advantage. And by putting my ego as a child, it changes the perception and it changes the identity of my ego. So now my ego will be less inclined to steer me or to influence me because they're just understanding that this is a child. And if you're an adult, there's no way a child can dictate your life or tell you what to do. And that's one way I do that. And what that does, that open up a whole new corridor for me to now understand deeper things about the universe and nature of reality. For example, let's talk about the law of attraction. There's one thing you guys got to understand to make the law of attraction work. Okay? Remember, law of attraction involves magnetism, right? Electromagnetism. It's your energies, what you're attracting. In order for you to be magnetic to get what you want, you have to possess two qualities. And these two qualities you have to have is you have to be confident and you have to have high self-esteem. Otherwise, the law of attraction is going to work the opposite in your life. And most people don't understand that. Most people they manifest from a state of desperation or a state of lack. Someone says you don't make it work because it always works. That's correct. It's always working on both sides of the spectrum. But if you want to make it work effectively for you, you have to have the confidence and the high self-esteem. If you want to make it work against you, if you don't have confidence or good self-esteem, you're going to be manifesting from a state of need or desperation. See? Everything needs action from us. We have to make that action. Inspired action, you do make inspired action, but everything comes. Did you know that action is the last step in creating your dreams? Because if you understand, and this is what I'm talking about, this deeper understanding of the universe and all this stuff we're talking about here. And this is why I say you got to exit your regular mind to get this type of knowledge and information, because it only can come to you when you're not wrapped up in your own thoughts, your own mind, your own ego, your own perceptions of who you are, all that stuff. You know, another thought-provoking thinking that comes to me is the fact that none of us will never be able to know who we are from an intellectual level, from a conscious level. None of us. Now, you may get to know who you are from a deeper level, but that's when you get to the next level. But I'm speaking in general terms. When you're married with your wife, even your mom, even your own self right now, logically, you will never be able to know yourself. And let me tell you why. Because what you have in your head is an image, a perception, or an idea of who you think you are and who the person you think of is or are. It's not. There's never the real person. And then when you meet the real person in real life, you're projecting that real person from the perceptions you already have in your head. You see what I'm saying? So it's like nobody will ever be able to know anybody, or they'll never be able to understand or know who they truly are. Intellectually now, from a conscious end. But now, once you elevate to the higher level of conscious awareness, then you can start to see people for who they truly are, because now you're existing in a state of being, a state of spiritual dimension. And that's where the judgment will fall off, envy will fall off, jealousy will fall off, and now you can see people as who they are. But you can only get there again from what? From understanding. You have to be a deep thinker. And you have to understand that you have to have the confidence and you have to have the self-esteem to get there. You know, why do so many people struggle with manifesting? Why do you think so many people struggle with manifesting? Why do you think so many people have such a hard time getting what they want? You know what it is? You know why so many people have a hard time getting what they want? Anybody knows that? Why do so many people struggle? Why isn't creating our world easy or manifesting easy? Why do so many of us have to struggle to get what we want? Someone says they have resistance to what they're manifesting. Yes, if we could go deeper on that aspect now, what is the resistance? And someone gave me the answer right here. The resistance is basically, who's this here? We got this is my night agents. She says it correctly. The reason why most people struggle to manifest what they want is because the majority of people don't believe they deserve it. That's right. The reason you struggle, point blank, is because you don't believe you deserve it. Now you may look at me, you may say, what is Mark talking about here? I know I deserve it because I think about it every day and I try to visualize it every night and I'm taking steps towards it. But I can still tell you that means you still don't deserve it. Now you're confused, right? And you're like, man, this guy's confusing me here. I don't get it. Well, let me show you how to get it and show you how it works. When you don't deserve it, it's coming from your unconscious programs or subconscious mind. See, your subconscious mind has a set of beliefs, just as your regular mind has a set of beliefs. The difference is in your subconscious beliefs, they're called your true beliefs. They are the ones that really determine the path your life goes on, whether you'll be successful, whether you'll be inconsistent, whether you'll be a failure. All of that is determined in your subconscious. So the issue is most people will walk around with a faulty subconscious map of reality. But most people have a subconscious map that says that they don't deserve it. And the thing is, you can't pick up that map because you're consciously engaged in your other mind. In your other mind, you can think about you deserve it, but thinking and feeling is two different things. And the feeling is what drives the creative process. Feelings are always tied in the unconscious, subconscious mind. So most people believe or think they don't deserve it. And their actions and habits do that to them. Did you know that most people, they will sabotage themselves for success? Did you know that? When someone's about to become successful or they're about to make a lot of money, they start to get nervous, they start to sweat, they get anxiety, and they end up sabotaging themselves. When most people are about to hit that big thing or whatever, that they just pull themselves back. Maybe some of you have experienced that before. What's causing that? It's the subconscious wants to hold on to what it feels is the right map of reality. And it's going to make you get these feelings, and then you may make a mistake and you may mess up. So that's the thing. So the biggest thing that stops us from manifesting is the fact that we don't feel like we don't deserve it. And to change that, you know what you got to do, man. You got to use those affirmations. You got to use those self-hypnosis. You got to use auto hypnosis. And you got to build your confidence and your esteem up. And once you build your confidence and your self-esteem up, now you become magnetic. And then you raise what you call your attractor factor. You see, everybody has what's called an attractor factor. Your attractor factor is like your aura. So everyone knows they have an aura, right? Aura is an electromagnetic signature of what you vibrate. And you can see your aura, different colors. So everyone has an aura. The reason you have an aura is because you're an electrochemical being. You're an electric magnetic being. Your cells in your body, when you break them down, they become the molecules, then they become atomic particles. And all atomic particles, they give off a charge. This charge, when the charge gives off, it creates magnetism. And the magnetism now reflects as light. And that's how people see their aura. But you also have what's called your attractor factor. That's separate from your aura. The attractor factor comes from the heart. Each person's heart has a magnetic field of 6 feet. So when you're walking around, you have this invisible bubble of electromagnetic energy protruding 6 feet from your heart. Okay? That's called your attractor factor. Some people have high attractor factors. Some people have low attractor factor. The attractor factor depends on how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. Are you confident or you have low self-esteem? People with high attractor factor, high heart magnetism, will always be more charismatic, they have more confidence, they have more self-esteem. People with low attractor factor, they'll be in a state of more needy, they'll be more sensitive, they'll tend to be take things more personal, and they'll be more jealous, they'll have more envy. They also see themselves as victims, right? Those things. Yes, here's someone just mentioned this. Who's this here? We got Magnetic TikTok. I've done energy block clearing, and boom, I made 18,000 in 10 days. Yes, that's because you've raised your attractor factor, energy, right? You cleared the resistance energy, and this is a true thing about how reality works and how all of us work. And I think this is something that man should have been taught to us at an early age, maybe in school or going through whatever, just to show us that we can balance our energy to create, because now our energy is what creates our world. So the attractor factor is something very important for you to have. And when you have the high attractor factor, then you're going to start to like boom, 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 boom. That's when you get all the good stuff, right? Mark, I had a dream walking. Sorry, it's going so fast here. How do you do energy blocking? Energy blocking or energy clearing is where you can go and you can get, I think you can do Reiki, you can do chakra clearing, all this stuff. But your body has different central points of energy. All parts of our bodies, our bodies are a very complex machine. Our bodies run on electricity and water, electromagnetic. And with the body, it's going on inside your body now is a complex system of chemicals being made in the gut, goes to your brain, and your brain now is a powerhouse that sends out these signals to the universe, and then you get stuff coming in. Mark, I had a dream walking in Mango Garden with a group of people, telling them that I'm very happy. Yeah, so that dream is a subconscious message to you that's saying that you're contented and you're in a state of feeling good and you're confident in yourself when you have dreams like that. But the big thing is that it comes down to our point of focus. And I said this, and you hear me say it again because it's so important. You got to spend more time focusing on what you want and less time focusing on what you don't want. Okay? Because when you focus on what you want, you're expanding your attractor factor. What do you think of the third eye, and how does it work? So the third eye is known as the pineal gland, and they discovered now microcrystals in the third eye, and these microcrystals in the third eye, actual crystals, your third eye has microcrystals. And what they discovered is the microcrystals in the third eye have their own separate communication. This was recently discovered. So within your third eye, those microcrystals are communicating they're giving signals out to the universe. They're sending quantum fluctuations out. They're communicating with something out there. It's recently discovered. I mean, the original purpose of the third eye is to produce melatonin to help you sleep. But now we're learning so much more about the third eye that it's has more power than that. It actually helps with deep understanding, lucid dreaming, connections to the psychic world, anything of that sort. The third eye is, they call it, the third. That's why it's called the third eye, because you have these two eyes. They can look, but the third eye sees. See the difference? Yeah, it's like our antenna, and that's recently discovered. And there's so much stuff that are happening that we're just picking up and we're finding out about how the mind, how the body works, how all this stuff works. Many of you too, you may be new to spirituality, maybe trying to understand the mind, quantum physics, how it works to manifest and all that stuff. So the simplest terms for you, if you're a beginner and you want to change your life and you want to, you want to manifest, you just want to create a better life. Here's the simplest thing you can do right now. The simplest thing, or the most effective thing for you that will help you to create what I like to call your life by design instead of default, is start to practice to only kind of focus on what you want. When you start to just think about only what you want, you start to actually rewire the chemistry of your brain. You start to change mapping in the mind. And when you change the mapping in the mind, you're going to see the world a different way. Your reality starts to reflect you a lot different. Because the thing about reality, guys, and the thing you have to understand is that we all see the world differently with our own lens. And the way I see the world and the way you see the world and the way someone else is going to be totally different. It may look identical to us, but there's going to be unique differences in my thought and in your thought. And these simple, minute changes is what affects the field around us. The field is the particles of the energy and all that stuff that come around and change our world. And when you start to think about and focus only on what you want or something that makes you feel good, you start to affect that field. And when you affect that field now, that's when the brain, because the thing about your brain is your brain can expand its horizon. Did you know that? Your brain can expand its visionary part. Your brain can open up new layers of reality to you. I don't know if you understand. I don't know if you know that. I mean, the thing about the brain is, even though the brain likes to work smarter than harder, the brain doesn't like to put out a lot of energy. Your brain likes to conserve energy. Because the brain likes to, the brain is a survival mechanism. It's a very complex, spongy machine. But it has the ability to open new layers of reality around you that you can't even see right now. A matter of fact, check this out. The reality or the thing that you want may be right in front of your very face or right around you. And your brain can actually lock that out from you seeing that. In other words, you may be walking by it every day and you will never notice it because you haven't tuned into that direction or into that field of vision yet. But when you can expand your brain and you start to open yourself up to new stuff, then things will open right in front of your eyes that were always there, but you never noticed them. And that's actually done by design. Your brain does that on purpose because the brain is looking or brain. Okay, let me show you how the brain works. It's like what they do with the algorithm. Like what is it? They got this algorithm now, right? On your social media, right? So the algorithm says like whatever you're searching on or looking up most, the algorithm is very smart. It's gonna say, all right, so they like watching that. So what the algorithm does now, it's just only gonna send pertinent information to what you've been searching on. See how that works? That's how your brain works in manifesting as well. So the brain is gonna just start to look for, okay, what is he thinking about the most? What is he focusing about? And then what it's going to do now is going to create this tunnel vision in your reality now. So your reality is going to shrink and just show you the algorithm of whatever you're thinking about. Now, if you start to search something different, it's going to shift again. So that's why I always say, you know what? Just think about only what you want so that your brain can start to show you these things. Now, the interesting thing about that is it gets even better now. So you may say to yourself, okay, so my brain is just going to show me this stuff. Nah. Your brain's not only going to show you this stuff, man. When your brain shows you the stuff, that's the beginning of it. Because there's another part that's connected to the brain, and it's called the unconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind now does things a little differently. In the unconscious mind, it likes to do things to make you experience stuff. It's like, I call it the prover mind. The subconscious always wants to prove to you. You like your brother, you ever had a big brother or little brother that always want to be like you, and he's like, whatever you do, he wanted to do it too. He just want to prove it to you. He's like, I'm going to show you I can do this. And he turns around and is like, damn, he's doing everything I'm doing. Your subconscious is like that. It likes to prove stuff to you. So the subconscious and the brain and the mind works hand in hand. So what happens now is this. So now you start to open up your mind. You start to focus on more good stuff, right? The brain now is going to create what's called synaptic pruning. You're going to have synaptic pruning, then you're going to move to neuroplasticity. Synaptic pruning is where the brain is going to organize a certain pattern and say, okay, we're focusing on this. That's called synaptic pruning. Now the cells in the brain cells are getting ready now to do neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is now when the brain cells fuse together and they create one line, and now everything you start to see that in your world. All right. After that happens, after neuroplasticity happens, that's when the proven stuff comes in now. So now not only you'll start to see these stuff around you, it's going to seem like a miracle. All of a sudden, things are going to start to happen. Results, experiences. You'll start to, whatever it is you're manifesting or thinking about, you actually start to get it. That now is coming from the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is going to do it. Now, again, I said to you guys that there's just some things that we'll never understand about the universe because of our conscious thing. And one of the stuff you will never understand is no matter how high you get up into spirituality, I don't care how high you are as a monk, as a guru. This is one thing no one, even physicists, even the smartest man, even Albert Einstein, I don't think you'll ever understand this on a cognitive, logical level. And here's what you know. No one will ever be able to understand how the subconscious mind does what it does to create things to line up specifically for you. No one will ever understand the inner knowings of how it works. We will have theories, we will talk about the vibration, the energy, but no one will ever be able to understand the backdrop of what's programmed in the subconscious mind. Why is it so powerful? Where does it come from? There's all theories, it's from God. They can't prove that as well. Oh, it's from this. No. That's something that you and I may never be able to understand cognitively. But that's just how it works. And the fact is, when it works, it works. I started asking my subconscious mind questions, and it gives me the answers fast. Yes, that's what I teach you guys. It's a prover mind. When you ask a question, it must answer. This is what you need to write down. Write this down. Write this down, because this is going to change your life right here. Remember this phrase, okay? Your questions are your answers. Let me repeat that. Your questions are your answers. Questions are the answers. Always ask questions that you want to be answered as an experience. You got to do it out loud for the subconscious mind. Never ask questions in your logical mind. When you ask a question, have the intent that you're talking to the subconscious mind. Then you got to know how to phrase your questions. You got to know how to put the questions. And I've taught you guys how to do that stuff. You got to put your questions in. What would it feel like? What would it look like? How would it make me feel? Why am I? Those are the formats you put all questions. And when you do it that way, you initiate now the unconscious mind to become that big brother prover mind that we talk about. And that's just how it all works, man. Everything comes from nothing. I ask when I'm falling asleep. Yeah, you can ask when you're falling asleep, or you can ask anytime during the day. It doesn't matter. You can ask anytime, because your subconscious is always alert and it's always taking information. It takes less information, though, during the waking hours, because it's processing information that's already made up. In your waking hours, you're more into your regular mind. You're into beta mind. But when you're relaxing and you're getting ready to go to sleep, that's where you're going to get the most effective use of these questions going into your unconscious mind. See how that works? That's very interesting. Okay. That's also why therapists always tell you to counter-argument a question. Yeah. I want to be a millionaire, someone says. Well stated. Can you please repeat the question for me? Yes, you got to ask your question. What would it look like? How would it make me feel? How different would my life be? And why am I? And then put whatever you want to put in your question. Do synchronicities always stop before something materializes, or can they stay to the last second? Yes, it can go both ways. Synchronicities can stop or synchronicities can go into manifest. And I've experienced both of them that way. When I first won the lottery, the synchronicities stopped, slowed down, and I didn't see too much synchronicities for 3 to 4 months. And then I won. And then after I won, I've experienced it where the synchronicities kept going and then I won again. So it can go both ways, but it just depends on you. Do you ever twitch while meditating? Yep. See how that works? Is Kundalini some sort of what? Doesn't charge up. Manifesting physical change is possible. Yes, physical changes are possible because a physical change is the cells in your body creating new cells. People do physical changes all the time. People heal themselves. I've seen people change their eye colors. I've seen people, anything is possible as long as you believe. I've seen women give birth way past their periods in their 70s, healthy kids. As long as you align yourself with your purpose, it's going to provide profit, right? I'm not worried, that's right. Do I meditate? Yes, I meditate. You know, I used to meditate every day, but I don't meditate every day now. I just meditate more when I feel like it. Is guided meditation better than visualization meditation? Guided meditation, it depends on what you want. If you want to manifest something, then you want to use visual meditation. If you want to get in a certain state, then you use guided meditation. Bro, any tips on the lottery? How do I put the numbers in? It's what, 50 million tomorrow, 60 million tomorrow. Just do a quick pick, man. Or what they call a lucky dip if you're in Europe. If you dream numbers, you play those numbers, but otherwise do a quick pick. I won with a quick pick. I'll let the universe pick for me. Win. How to focus when you're winning lottery? Okay, how to focus when you're winning when you're manifesting a lottery win? Winning the lottery is pretty simple, guys. I'm sure if you follow my YouTube channel, my content, you know I have tons of stuff on the lottery because that's how I got it. That's how I got my calling, by winning the lottery. But focusing on how to focus on the lottery is like it's a system of you visualize nightly. I buy my tickets, I put them aside. I don't even check my tickets, man. I check my tickets for like a month because I want to establish that connection that I've already won. I want to let that resistance go. So I just put the tickets away and I cleared up a lot of space resistance, and I put my subconscious mind into a state that I believe that I've won, and then I end up winning. So that's my best advice if you want to do the lottery. You got to make a budget as well. Don't go lottery fever and try to spend your money, man, all your money. Don't do that because that's a state of lack of desperation. Just get a budget and just say, this is what I'm going to play. Stick with it, and then you can do it. Yes, guys, all these lives, look, all these lives, they're on my YouTube channel, so you're not going to miss anything. For all the ones I've done before, just go there, Mark Haughton. You're going to see all of them. They said to attract more, you have to heal your trauma. Yes, that's correct. Here's how it works. You can attract or you can manifest anything with trauma. That means with blocks. Okay, let me repeat that. You can manifest, you can attract great things even with your trauma. With your deep subconscious blocks, you can manifest and you can attract these things, okay? Here's the problem though. You're not going to keep them consistently. You'll get them, it's like a tease. You'll get them for a little bit and then they'll go away because you're going to come back and sabotage yourself because your traumas are always going to win out because they are actions and habits. See how that works? So I'll make it clear. People can still manifest whatever they want with deep blocks and traumas, but the problem is you're not going to be consistent. You may get them for a year or 2 or 6 months, and after that, you're going to go back into your old pattern. This is what you see in the majority of people. They're inconsistent. Maybe in you had good months where you make some good money, and then you go back. So if you're experiencing anything like that, if you experience inconsistency where you're up and down, where you're on a streak, then you go back down, you're on another streak, you go back down, that more than likely tells me that your traumas or your blocks are still holding you back. Now, if you want to get to the top level where you can manifest something and then keep it, not only keep it, but elevate it and let it go consistently. In other words, you're not going to sabotage yourself. And listen to this. Let me check this out. Even if something is out of your control, let's use the economy, and I made this before. If you heal your trauma and instill in your subconscious that you deserve abundance, okay? It's going to be consistent. Let me show you something. Even let's say if the economy like crashes or there's like a recession and a lot of people lose their money and you may lose your money, right? You know what's going to happen? You're going to be the first one to make more money than anybody else because the program was already remembered in your subconscious. Your subconscious is going to pick you right back up and have you make more money than before you even crash. While the other people, they crash, it's going to take them like 3 to 4 years just to get back to where they're at. You can do it in a few months because your subconscious has the program to remember that you deserve abundance. So you're practically guaranteed success. There's going to be things that you'll fall back, but you'll get right back up. But when you don't have your mind fixed, you're going to keep falling back, going back, falling back, going back, falling back, going back. It's the truth, people. Somebody has to tell you that. I got to tell you. They don't want to tell you that stuff. And that's why I told you guys, so when you go to like these motivational conferences or anything like that sort, that's what it does. It just fixes you on a surface level. It pumps you up for a couple months. And then you come back home after a couple months, you're right back in your own pattern. Can you manifest with visualizing and nothing else? Yes. Matter of fact, that's how I won the lottery. When I started this, all I did was visualize, nothing else. I don't even think I was on subliminals then. I was just visualizing and using like music. You know, after I won, that's when I started to reprogram my subconscious. That's when I really started to get into understanding how my mind worked and started to change my blocks. But prior to before winning, it was just straight visualizing, straight visualizing, straight visualizing, straight visualizing. I meditated a little bit, but it was straight visualizing. Yeah, we're all gifted in different ways. Someone says, what? Can you suggest a video for clearing negative subconscious energy? There's a video on my channel you can use. It's really, really, really good. It's called the Abundance 888 Code. I think it is. It's a subliminal I made, and it's called Releasing Resistance. It's on my channel. You can use that. It's really good to help your blocks. Or you can find other things on YouTube about releasing block subliminals. Is synchronicity seeing numbers like 333? Yup. 333, 111, all those type of numbers. That's what synchronicity is. What about if it's a specific person? I know I wouldn't manifest that, but it's possible. Yeah, it's possible to manifest a specific person, but remember now, in order for you to manifest a person or someone, they're gonna have to have some sort of likeness towards you. They gotta have some sort of interest in you. There has to be some sort of connection there. If it's a specific person, if it's someone you know, they have to have some kind of connection. Because people are free to choose what they want to do and want to see, right? How come religion doesn't mention spirit guides? Yeah, because you see, the thing with religion is, guys, religion is telling you someone else's story. And I always say this, you know, religion is a business, just like any corporation. It's a business. And the reason why you know religion is a business is because think about this. If the word got out Listen, if the word got out that you don't need a preacher or a priest, if the word got out that, what they call the house of God is in you, that you can create from inside you, and that you are really powerful, and that your mind creates the world around you, and that you are part of God, experiencing God, and you don't need anybody to like pray over you or pray for you and all that stuff. If the word got out that you could do that, then the religion would cripple, because they wouldn't have the contribution from their members. They couldn't support their facilities, because you don't need them. You don't need a preacher anymore. You understand, like, oh man, I could do all this stuff myself. Why do I need you? So what religion did, religion outcast all of that information to make you dependent upon a belief that they are helping you. So that's why they take a lot of stuff out. Okay. Spirit guides. Someone said there are guardian angels. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, and one thing too you gotta understand that I want to touch on is how complex you are, how very powerful you are in like changing this world, man, or changing your reality, man. The enormous power that you have right now is beyond imagination, man. The power you have right now. When did you get that aha moment when you finally when you finally got it to manifest? When did I get that aha moment? Good question. I would say that aha moment came when I won the lottery, and then when I visualized in my mind, it was the same way in my regular reality, right? So the aha moment came after I won. I spent about 40 minutes to an hour thinking about, if I had known this stuff before, how my life could change. The aha moment came when I realized, like I said, this is what I actually said to myself. I was like, damn, it is true, man. My thoughts create my reality. It's like, why the hell didn't they teach me this in school? That was the aha moment, because I did it myself. You got to think about it. Look, when someone experienced something like this, when someone experienced like, when you visualize in something, right, for months, and then let's say manifest, then you could say, okay, it works. But imagine visualizing something for months, and then when it manifests exactly the way you visualized it. Listen to me, exactly. That was something very profound. That was my aha moment. That's when I understood now what science and physics and all that, everything at that moment, everything came together. That's when it clicked, and that's when I started to just, okay, I'm going to do this now on autopilot, because I've done it before, so now I know how to do it. And I started doing it, and it was just happening. So that's the aha moment. Yeah, it was a very awesome feeling. It's a feeling that I never experienced again. Because once you do it and it comes out that way, and after you do it again, it's never going to be the same feeling. And I mean, I've won a lot of times after doing the first win, and it was never that feeling before, because it's like I got used. My mind remember, but that feeling was, I couldn't even describe that feeling, man. Imagine that. I guess I would compare it to this. This is how I compare the feeling, and this is the best way I thought, because I had time to think about this. I thought about it like this. I said, okay, imagine like I was a fish living underwater, right? And the water is my only world I know. So everything was below me, right? My whole world was that water. So when I'm swimming, I'm seeing all the trenches, I'm seeing other fishes. I'm in my own world, right? Then it was like someone took me out of the water and showed me like, hey, fish, there's another world up here. Look. And I'm like, I see a sky. And I see people. Then only I see a sky, but then I go into space. I see planets. It was like that. It was like that mindset. Like, damn, there is something. It was like that type of feeling. It's like a wake up call to let me know, like, damn, I've been. First thing I was like, first thing came to me. I said to myself, like, damn, I've been tricked ever since I was a kid. I was like, damn, I've been duped, man. I was like, all these people have been duped. That's the first thing. I was like, damn, man. I was actually mad for a minute because I was like, why didn't they teach me this in school? Why didn't the church tell me this? Why didn't the Christians tell me this? Why didn't the damn school tell me all of this? Why did they trick me and make me have to go to this school and learn this and do that and think with my regular head? Why didn't they show me that this is how the world really works and this is what reality really is? That was the main thing I was really pissed off at. And then when I after a while, it sank in. I just started to think to myself, I was like, all right, Mark, the reason why they don't tell you this stuff and the reason why they don't show you this stuff, because they don't want the population to be out of control. They don't want people to break down the system. And that makes sense to me. I was like, oh, they just want the control, and they want people to be subservient. So that's what I realized. Like, oh man, this is a matrix. This is a system. This is an organized system to distract me from me. Yeah, school doesn't even show you how to manage money either. You can go to school and study economics or be an economist. They don't show you how to do this stuff. And but now I'm cool because now I understand like why they do it. I understand why you will never see this information in schools. You'll never see it in the church. You may see parts of it. You'll never see it in the mainstream. And the reason why they don't do it is because it's a fear that it will collapse the global market, the global economy, the global religions. Everything will go down because people will have a new view of reality. I mean, if you think about it too, man, if you're like working a job and you don't like it and you realize like, man, I could go work on myself and I could create a manifest and stuff. A lot of people, business wouldn't be working. Everything be down. People will start. It'll be a whole new world, and that's too much for them to risk. So this is why, and unfortunately, they're going to try to hold on to this as long as they can. They're going to hold on this as long as they can, man. Have you ever done psychedelics or ayahuasca? No, I've never done that. I have people I know that done that though. Definitely changes your perception. My psychedelics was what I visualize every night. But psychedelics do have an effect on the thing. But it took me a while to really get over like why they lied to me, why they didn't tell me. It took a while to really get over that. Because when I won the lottery, man, and I realized like, damn, I just defied or beat the odds that they said you couldn't do. I just did something deliberately. It wasn't like I was buying tickets and hoping or wishing to win. I was creating a system. I was systematically manifesting winning the lottery. I was doing something to create something. I wasn't in the world of hope or wishing. I knew that if I did it this way, I would win. Or if I did anything that way, I would win. And when it finally came into fruition, I was happy to win, but I was also so mad because I was like, damn, man. If I'd known this like years ago, man, I've been a different person. I've been a different thing. So that was the tough point. I would call that the dark side to winning the lottery. The dark side to manifesting, really. Not the lottery, but the dark side to manifesting is like when you find out that you had all of this stuff in you and you can do it yourself. When you find out and you say to yourself like, damn, I missed all those years. I wasted all those damn years doing this that I would. So, but what came to me was, what came to me after that? The universe just said to me, said, look, man, when you find out, you find out it's the right time for you. So it was like, when I did it, it was the right time. So I guess for you, if you're finding out now that you can change your world through your thoughts and your mind and your subconscious, and you can understand our universe, then it's the right time for you. It's not like, you're not late, in other words. Just because I thought about it, if I do it any longer, maybe I wasn't ready, I wasn't equipped, things like that. So it was the right time for the right time. Yeah, the CIA released the documents now that manifest is real. Now they're starting to release it little by little, because people are smart now. People are catching on. People, there's a lot of information being exchanged now. People are seeing the truth of all this stuff, so they're putting it little by little out. So it's a good time for you guys, for all of us to be here, because now we're at the age where you're understanding that it's all about your focus, right, and what you put your mind on, man, right? It's not about, look, let me show you. Don't listen to like the mainstream news and all that stuff, guys. Don't listen to all that stuff. Don't pay too much attention to the narrative, right? Don't do all that stuff, man. Don't do that stuff, because this is something I found out too, and I learned this. I didn't know that there is a collective consciousness. Like, there you have your singular consciousness, but also I didn't realize that we were all connected, and it's called the collective subconscious. So we're connected on two levels. We have the collective consciousness, right? That's where all the logical minds are connected. All of our conscious minds are connected to every other person. Check this out. To every person, being, or thing of intelligence in the universe. Not even the earth. The earth is just natural. So first of all, we're all connected to everybody in the earth, and then to something else out there, okay? That's called the collective consciousness. And this was put forth in the CIA declassified information. Okay? All right, that's a collective consciousness. The other one now was the collective subconscious. That's the tricky one, because we are all connected on a subconscious level. And this is important because this is how you get programmed. So what happens is, because everything is connected on a subconscious level, you and I, what they can do is they can put stuff out on the TV, they can put stuff out on the news, and in your conscious mind you're just watching something negative, but in your subconscious mind you're being programmed to create the very reality you're watching. So they get all the people and put this image in their collective subconscious. Now all these people start to create reality for them. And this is deep, man, because check this out. That means they can influence like what type of person you like, what type of person you're going to marry, how much money you should make, what you should watch. They put that on your subconscious and you don't even know it. It's like a smooth player. The player just plays you so smooth. It's after he got what he wants, you realize you've been played. That's what they're doing right now. That's what they're doing. They're doing it right now. Even when you're driving your car and look at the billboards on the television, they're playing you right now. And that's why I don't watch the news or TV anymore, because I know that I'm connected to the collective subconscious, and what I watch is going to influence. I'm going to help them create their reality. That's why it's called television programming. That's why it's called television. We don't tell-e-vision. Tell lie to your vision. Tell lie vision. Every word, they give you the meaning of every word. Tell lie vision. Tell love vision. You think that's a coincidence? I think not. They tell you up. Someone says it here. They tell you what to wear, what's the fashion, what to drink, like who you should be attracted to. They just slip it into your subconscious mind, and then you just start saying, "Oh, okay, that's the fact," and you don't even know it, man. Yeah. It's the power of the mind, people. Mark, but bad things happen before manifesting, or sometimes you can just manifest without getting bad. Yes, but most times you can manifest without getting bad. But again, guys, what is bad? Bad is something we made up. See, it's part of the matrix thing. There's nothing really bad. There's just duality. There's just change. It's perception. So it's transfer of energy. So I never look at anything bad. I just look at things like a feedback loop. But yes, to answer your question, things can manifest smooth, or when things seem bad, it's a good sign that it's about to change. It's the energy change and all that stuff. But you really got to be aware, guys, that even though you have your mind, you're connected to other minds. And this is why when you get a lot of thoughts coming in your head, most of those thoughts aren't yours. They're coming from like the collective. And We're picking up what's going on in the collective right now. How about telescopes, telegraph, telegram, and telephone and telegram? What about them? I once had a dream about a person, and then someone came into my life. Yeah, that's a premonition. Does music frequencies have effect on your manifestation? Yeah, the music is the biggest tool they use to gauge or control your manifestation. Because the frequencies affect the chemistry in our brains. The frequency affects the states the brain oscillates in. So your brain goes in like alpha, theta, delta, gamma. And then music or frequency can interrupt the brainwave oscillation state, which can cause you to feel or react a certain way. What do you suggest? What do you suggest we watch to manifest whatever we want? Only watch things about your manifestation. Only watch like videos or program that shows people doing what you want to do. They've already done it, like motivational stuff. That's what I suggest. That's why I always say you got to focus on what you want, man. Just remember the line is, remember that there's two worlds like interacting in this world, right? There's the world of what you want here, and there's the world of what you don't want, and they're all entangled together. They're right in unit space right now, and what determines which world you're going to experience is your line of focus. What about getting affected by other energies easily? Yes, that's a problem. That's an issue. Yeah, you can be affected by other people's energy, but I mean, once you learn the truth, though, once you learn this stuff, you don't take it seriously anymore, because you understand, like, okay, I'm not tuned into their world. I mean, look, I just have to understand that people are always going to project their stuff on you. You can't help that. Wherever you go, people is going to project their need, their want. They're going to project their love. They're going to project their hate. So you're going to always be projected on, no matter where you go. Is classical music good for frequencies of manifesting? Yes. Classical, any music that kind of make you feel good and relax, you'll know it's good. If you get like a music that make you feel agitated, anxious, it's more likely not attuned to your body's frequency. But people are going to always project everything on you. People are going to project their insecurities on you, all that stuff. So how can you fix that? Well, you have to become aware. So what you want to do now is notice how you feel around people. So if you feel a certain way, then you understand, okay, I'm picking up a projection from somebody or this person, right? So when you're going to feel a certain way, you're going to understand, okay, this person got to me. So what do? You can release the person's energy. How do you release the person's energy? Just tell yourself that, okay, I don't want this energy. I'm going to release it. And the energy will go right out of you. It will leave you. But what happened is a lot of us, we don't know that we're projecting people's energy, so we don't know where it's coming from, so we think it's coming from us, right? So if we think it's coming from us, we think it's normal. If you think it's normal, you're not going to release it. So that's something you got to keep in mind, guys. Like, watch your surroundings. When you go around people, notice how they make you feel. And then if you notice, like, man, every time I go into this person's house or this family house, man, I always feel this, that. Then limit yourself. Be like, man, I'm gonna stop going over your house. Man, why have you been coming over, man? Man, I've been busy. I've been doing stuff. I mean, you don't have to tell them. You could tell them if you want. You could tell them, like, yo, man, I don't want to come to your house because your house, I'm picking up negative energy from you. Or if you don't want to tell them, just be coy. Just be like, I've been busy. But you gotta do stuff like that to protect your energy. How can I manifest and tap into my higher self to become a professional basketball player? Visualizing. You have to visualize. Can you see yourself playing on the team? Can you see yourself in the locker room? Can you see the jersey? Can you see the team? Can you see all that stuff? If you can see all that stuff, you're halfway there. The next step now, you got to get your subconscious mind to prove it to you by asking yourself the questions out loud. Like, what would my life look like as a professional basketball player? How would it make me feel to be a professional basketball player getting paid hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars? Those are questions you ask out loud, subconscious. And you do that by visualizing what you want. Your body and your body's gonna reject. Your body, your body may make even, you can even grow. You'll get more muscles. You get more quickness. All that stuff, because all that stuff is done on the molecular level. It's cellular stuff. It's controlled by particles, and particles are controlled by our observation. The atoms and the particles make up our flesh and bone, and they're all controlled by what we observe. If we observe and put attention to something, it creates. Bottom line. Food, someone says, does food? Yes, it means foods and medication keeps you disconnected. So look, let me show you what's really happening, all right? So here's what's happening. Majority of people, because we are connected by a collective subconscious, right? What the mainstream media and what a lot of stuff do to you guys is they put you in what's called a hypnotic trance. So you are actually hypnotized right now. If you ever wonder like why there's so much negative and the fear and all that stuff around, it's fear does something unique to your brain. When you're in fear, it shuts off the part of your brain for you to think logically and all that stuff. So when it puts you in fear, you know what takes over? Your subconscious. What is your subconscious mind? A hypnotic, meditative mind. It's a trance mind. So every time you fear something or get in fear, you're literally hypnotized. Let me repeat that. You're literally hypnotized. So when you're in the matrix and you're all up into this negative stuff, you're in a hypnotic trance. And so you're like a walk-in zombie. You're like, I call them the NPCs, non-player characters. You call them a bot. Even though you're consciously aware, but you're still a bot. You're still an NPC because they have your subconscious. They have you where they want. So you're drawn to like negativity. You want to watch like stuff with violence. You want to watch the news more often. Every day you're going to watch the news because your subconscious is drawn to the negativity. That's called a hypnotic trance. Okay, that's a hypnotic trance. So, the only way to defeat it, someone have to wake you up out of the trance. You keep in mind now, when you're hypnotized, you don't know you're hypnotized until someone goes like this, wake up. Look, this is so important for people to get because they don't understand this stuff, man. Because I was hypnotized. I was in there. I woke up though. So I can tell you what it feels to be hypnotized and what it feels to be out of the trance. So if you're someone that you're into like a lot of the mainstream stuff, if you like to watch the news a lot, if you like to watch like movies with violence and like all this stuff, if you just can't find, you just got to know what's happening. If you're listening to certain music and the music just makes you feel a certain way, even though you know the lyrics in the music is bad. If you're watching the economy, if you're watching the latest fashion, if you're watching like what people, more chances are you are hypnotized by the matrix. They have you where they want you. Point blank. Even though you may think to yourself, I'm good, I'm making a decision myself. Oh, Mark, I'm the one that chooses to turn the news on. I'm the one that, no, you're not. That's what you think. Your subconscious mind makes a decision 3 to 5 seconds before your regular mind makes a decision. Let me repeat that again. Your unconscious mind makes the decision 3 to 5 times before you get it into your regular mind. So that means when you get something in your regular mind, that decision was already made 3 to 5 seconds ago by your unconscious. It just sends it to your conscious and you think or you believe you made a decision. The decision was already made 3 to 5 seconds before. Bam. But they're not going to tell you this. Why would they tell you the secret, man? Why would they want to wake you up? I mean, I think about it like a matrix. I'm thinking like, okay, man, if I got the world, if I'm a selfish person, if I'm a controlling person, and I got all these people hypnotized, I ain't going to want to wake them up either. Why would I want to wake you up? You're doing my bidding, man. I'm not going to wake you up. I mean, everything's running good. I'm living a luxury life. You're going to my church. You're buying my products. You're taking my medicines. You're eating my food. I'm telling you where to live. I'm telling you how much money you can make. I'm telling you how reality works. And you're dependent upon me, which I love that. Oh man, I love people to depend on me. See that? That's what they love. I'm going to tell you how to live your life. I'm going to tell you what relationships are. I'm going to tell you even who to marry. I'm even going to tell you what your name is. I'm even going to give you a number, a social security number. I'm even going to tag you. I'm even going to monitor you, man. I'm going to do all that stuff because you are my hypnotic trance. I'm going to tell you who you should marry, who you should like. I'm going to tell you how much money you can make and what you can't make. I'm going to tell you where you should live. I'm going to tell you what job to work. Why would I want to wake you up? I mean, I woke myself up from the trance because, you know, I'm the person that put you in the trance. The Matrix knows this. The Matrix knows that the real leaders and the real power players in the Matrix, they're not in a trance. You can't be in a trance and be trancing people. Somebody got to be awake to hypnotize you. Two hypnotizing people can't work. Sorry. Somebody got to be the smart guy, and they are. The smart guys are the mainstream media, the 6 corporations, your banking system, the structures of your educational system, their government system, your religious deities. Those are what's called the smart guy. Those are the people that are not in the trance. Those are the people that are putting you in the trance. Because they have to keep you hypnotized. They have to keep feeding you the soup to make you hypnotized, which is the fear, the lack, the need, the desperation. These things drive our emotions and create what we call addictions. They have to keep you going. So if you're someone that want to be dehypnotized, if any of this is resonating with you, if any of this is making sense to you, and if you're looking around your life, and I think it should make sense to you because this should make you stop and really think, man. If this is making sense with you, and if you want to be dehypnotized, the first thing you have to do, you have to plug out. You have to make a decision and say, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to watch no more news. I'm not going to watch nothing about the economy. I'm not going to watch nothing. I'm not even going to watch the weather. Only thing I'm going to watch is stuff that want to make me manifest what I want. Then you're going to slowly start to be, the trance, you're going to start to wake up out of the trance because there's not the feed in for the fear and all that stuff is not coming to you anymore. Then you're going to wake up and you're going to see the world different. That's why you have some people who are NPCs, non-player characters. They're like the people that are just so plugged in, they're so deeply hypnotized. And I could tell you some people like that. Like my parents are like that. My parents are so plugged in, they're gone. I can't convince my parents and say, hey, look, this is because they're so stuck in their ways. Because they've been programmed for so many years, 40, 50 years, man. So they're going to listen to what I'm saying, but they're not going to take it seriously. You know, some parents are open. Those are, you know, you call those the NPCs, non-player characters. There's no disrespect. It's not like I'm disrespecting my parents. I respect and love my parents. But I'm just showing you the analogy of non-player characters. They're so construed into the system. And then you have some people who are the bots. The bots you can save. The bots are people that are middle. They can get out of the trance and wake up, or they can go into being an NPC, non-player character. What to manifest? Envision every interaction going the way you want to be happiness. That's correct. The mind is like a book, someone says. Best when open. 100% correct. So this is something I just want to teach and put you guys upon awareness about, right? Is 49 a great age to be awoke? Any age is a great age to be awoke. Age doesn't even matter. It doesn't even exist. Again, that's a program of the Matrix again. They tell you your age. So look, there's two things you have. You have chronological age, you have biological age. If you want to get technical, if you want to say real age, it's called your biological age. Is the age your cells are versus the chronological age. Chronological age is made up. Monday, Tuesday, all made up, part of the Matrix again. So any age technically is to wake. Once you wake, it's just good to wake up, man. It doesn't matter your age. It's just good to wake up. Always good to wake up, man. And you know, someone says, you know, the awareness is it's funny, like it's like winning the lottery like woke me up out of the Matrix. How could I? Who 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 would have ever thought that, or who would ever say that? Like, okay, this winning the how the hell winning the lottery could wake you up out of the matrix? Because when I won the lottery, man, I did something that I didn't think was possible. I did it deliberately. It wasn't like I did it like throwing money and wishing. I was like systematically creating this thing, and I was visualizing the result, and the result came the same way I seen it. So that's when I knew. I was like, damn, this world is really like a video game. This world is like a simulation. It really is a video game. I can see the world in my mind. I was like, oh damn, so it's true. So the world is really in me, man. So all this bullcrap they were teaching me and telling me, like everything I see outside. So the biggest revelation came to me was this: cause and effect. You know that in science, the world must work with cause and effect. That's a common law. So here's how it really hit me. This is when I really like. Someone asked me earlier the aha moment. The aha moment came this way. Remember this, guys. For something to happen, there must be a cause. After the cause precedes the effect. Okay? Now, here's where they got me. I believed that the outside world was the cause, but I was actually duped. See, the outside world for you right now is the effect. What you see around your world, what you're experiencing right now, that's an effect. Where did the cause come from? The cause came from within my thinking. My thinking and my habits cause the world I see to manifest. But all along, they were tricking me. They were making me believe that I have to change my outside world, which is smart. They're smart people, because there's no way I can change something that's already done. So I was like a dog chasing my tail. Like I have my dog, and if my dog chases his tail, I know 100% that my dog will chase his tail for 5 years. He'll never catch it. I'm not going to tell my dog, but of course I must tell my stop. But the dog doesn't know that. I know that. They know that. Most of you are trying to change the effect, and it's not going to work. So here's a good lesson, important lesson for you to understand. When it comes to manifesting or creating your life, you cannot focus on what is right now. You cannot focus on the external world, because that's already done. That's an effect. Most people try to go change the external world. They try to do something physical. They try to do action. They try to make a move. It's not going to work. That's already done. That's solidified in what we call quantum reality. That's already an effect. What you need to do now is you have to understand, okay, this is the effect. I'm going to be at peace with this world, whatever's happening in my life. So what I do now, I go visit my mind, and I start to think and focus on what I'd like to see the new outside world to be. Once I do that, I will begin to change the physical reality outwards, because from the cause must always create an effect. I don't know if many of you knew that. So if you're someone here right now, stop trying to change what's already done. Stop trying to fix the outside world. Go inside your own mind and head, man. Start thinking new thoughts. Start focusing on what you like. Start visualizing. If you have aphantasia, you can't visualize. Start writing down. Start questioning. You have to start to do this. You have to get your mind acclimated to a new sense of purpose, to a new sense of seeing what you want. Because if you don't do that, you're going to continue to be an effect. That's actually the true definition of insanity. Trying to fix something that's unfixable, that's already done in reality. You can't do that. It's not going to work. They do a very good job of convincing you to change your outer world before they change your inner world. If you notice that everything is more focused on external stuff, they don't talk too much about mental health or working on your mind and your spirit. All that stuff is very limited. They push it off in the background. They focus more on the outside world. You need to go do this. You need to be this. No one tells you, hey man, if you go work on your mental world, your mental game, you're going to change the physical game. See how it works? what's addiction? Addiction is when the brain gets used to a certain habit or action, and it sends these chemicals called dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and these chemicals will create a neural pathway that will feed the subconscious mind to always maintain that action or habit, no matter what. It will override your natural. That's called an addiction. That's when you become addicted. The brain is addiction is very easily formed in the brain. You can be addicted to anything, literally anything. That's why balance is very important when you have balance. Right, so now you know. See how that works, guys? I just want to just give you some insights, man. Just make you think. You know, I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to listen to me. But I just want to show you. You know, look, it's like these shades. It's a perfect example. Let me put these shades on. So these shades are my world. Let's pretend I didn't know I have shades. Let me pretend like these. I was born with these. See the color of these shades is like reddish, right? So when I look out to the world, I could see my world with these shades, but I see them in a little different color. I don't see the true world because the sun glare, right? So it's like one day something went off and I was like, damn, boom. I take these shades off and I was like, oh snap. What? Let me do something. That's what it's like. Most people are born, when they're born, they think they're born with these shades on. They don't know that they can go like this and see the real world and see reality and see like, oh man, that's what it is with your mind. And all of this, I learned all of this by studying the smallest particles of nature, quantum physics. Quantum physics is what really got me dehypnotized from the matrix. Because once I understood like what reality is, that's when the light bulb went off. Once I understood like, okay, Mark, what is the true nature of all this stuff, man? Where did we come from? What are we made of? Where is the universe? What is consciousness? What is mind? What is matter? What is thought? What is energy? What is all that stuff, man? And I just put it together and I was like, damn. You know, like I always wondered that stuff, you know. I always wondered like why I dream something and it comes into reality. Like if this world is like a Newtonian, they call it Newtonian physics. If this is a Newtonian world, meaning it's a basically structured, non-changeable physical world, then why would I have a dream and in my dream, the very thing I dreamt about came out like 2 months later? See, all those stuff got me thinking and got me like out of the matrix. So it's just a little information I want to share with you guys, so you can kind of just think more about. And I haven't even touched into the alien stuff, into the other higher beings, higher aliens, or what we call them, UAPs, people seeing UFOs. I haven't even touched on that yet, and that one is shock you. That one's gonna blow all the religion out the water. I haven't even touched on the fact that we live in we have parallel universes. I haven't touched on the fact that there's different levels of universes. There's a level 1 and level 2. We're what we call a level 2 universe. I haven't touched on the fact that there is actually another mirror universe amongst our universe. How about this? I haven't touched on the fact that there's infinite amounts of universe floating around in what we call bubble universes. And when these bubble universes touch each other, they spark a big bang. And the Big Bang you thought were the beginning of our universe. It wasn't the beginning of our universe. The universe can't have a beginning or an end. I haven't touched on that yet. And that when you see a Big Bang, it was just a different part in the play. It's like and it just created another what's called inflation of our universe. See, all that stuff I haven't touched on that yet, because it's just going to get so deep that some people may not understand this stuff. Touched on that. I touched on the fact that there's another version of you somewhere out there doing this very thing, an infinite version of you actually doing that very thing. I haven't even touched on the fact that this is actually a simulation rendering, because in all simulations, they have speeds. Look at our universe. There's a law. It's called the speed of light. Nothing can go faster than the speed of light. Just like a computer programmer. When something is rendering, it has rules, it has speed. In a computer, when something's rendering, it has to render at a certain speed. It can't go beyond that speed. If our universe wasn't a simulation or wasn't like a video game, then there wouldn't be any caps. There wouldn't be a speed limit. But yet there is a speed limit. Information, according to light, can't go faster than the speed of light. All of those stuff. The fact that our minds work by programs, our information. Or I haven't touched on the fact that you're like a pixel. You are information. All of those stuff we haven't even touched on, man. All those trippy stuff. How about the fact that you have like another version of you out of this dimension? Can you explain double slit experiment in simple words? Yeah. The double slit experiment basically says that so you know a particle is what creates all of us, right? It's called an electron. All right. But in a double slit they use a photon. It's a particle, same like an electron, but in a photon is light. So let's use electron and photon. We just say electron. So in a double slit experiment, so what they did was they would shoot the electron through. They had two slits. They would shoot the electron through one slit. So when they were watching, the electron would go through one slit. Okay. So when the scientists and they had the observational machine were watching, the electron would always go through the one slit. Now, when they weren't watching, the electron decided to go, when the electron was about to approach the one slit, the electron decided to go into this other slit at the same time. Until they watch again, the electron behaved the way they think it should behave by going through the one slit. So in simple terms, it means this. When you aren't observing reality, reality exists in all possible outcomes. The moment when you observe reality, it's going to shrink down to what you expect it to be. So that the double slit shows that our thoughts and our observation create our reality. When I'm not thinking about something or what I want, all possible outcomes exist. Until I think about something, I'm going to collapse to reality. So it says that we are connected to the electron. We are the electron. We are the reality creators. Without the electron, can't be you and I. It says that our observation creates our world. That's in simple terms of the double slit. Because remember, everything is made from an electron. I would suggest you learn quantum physics first. Yes. But I teach you guys quantum physics here. You can go to my channel. I got so much information, make it in simple terms for quantum physics. You can learn all about this. Just go to my YouTube, Mark Haughton YouTube channel. So that should help you to explain the double slit, right? So if you think about this, so what it says, guys, it says that that's why I say everything is in a superposition state. So it means that listen carefully, because this is important right here. Listen carefully. So it means that whatever you want, whatever version you want to experience of yourself, it already exists as a superposition. So when they do the double slit, they call it a wave. They say the particle goes from a wave and it collapses from a wave to a particle, right? It's called wave duality. So what that means is this. So think about it, make it simple for you. So let's say that you have an idea about what you want, but you're not thinking about it. You want more money, you want to be the best version. It says that all your possibilities and all your desires, everything you ever want, exists as a superposition, exists in all different space. It means you can be at two places at the same time in two different locations. You can be, that's called your parallel self. That's what we talk about, parallel universes. You can be here and there at the same time. So in a superposition state, any possible outcome for you already exists. The version of you being financially secure, the version of you having love and happiness, the version of you having whatever material stuff, the version of you starting your business, the version of you finding peace and spiritual, all of that exists right this moment, but it's in a wave. It's called a wave function part. Now, if I want to experience a particular version of myself, let's say if I want to experience financial security, what I do now, I bring my attention and I think about what my life would be like. Not just one time, I have to do it consistently. The act of me consistently doing that and doing other stuff too, I don't think I have time to touch on other stuff, but the act of me doing that now is going to collapse the wave from the superposition state into a specific reality where I'm going to observe or experience, remember now through my subconscious mind, because my subconscious mind is a prover, I'm going to experience that version of myself. That's what the double slit experiment has done. Now there are people that will say, oh, the double slit experiment doesn't prove anything because it was only done by human observers. But it wasn't. It was also done by machine observers. So when the machine was observing it, it did the same thing. It's like the electron knew that someone was looking. It's like the particle has intelligence. The particle knew when you're not looking, and it knows when the machine's not looking. It knows when the machine is looking and when you're looking. How would it know that? That's something we don't know either. Did you see how that works, people? That's one of the stuff I talk about that we'll never know. No one will never know. Why does the electron, how can the electron, which is not supposed to be a conscious observer thing, how does the electron know that I'm going to look before I even look? How does the electron know the machine is going to look with the intent before it looks? It behaves strange. Someone says, yes, it behaves strange. Only when I look, the electron goes back to being itself. When I look at the electron, it goes normal. It goes into the one slit because that's what I expect. We look at the electron, we see two slits. We know that you can't go through two slits. You got to go through one slit. So the electron says, all right, you expect me to go through one slit, I'm going to go to one slit. When I turn away, the electron goes through both slits at the same time. So what that says, I can get deeper. It says reality and everything. Here's a deeper meaning of this now. It really says that everything that could happen, that has ever happened, that will happen, is happening right now. Anything you can think of about your life is already done. It's already happened. You're already done. Everything we've already existed already. All of us, matter of fact, all of us are already gone. We're not even here anymore. We're just experiencing the feedback of our lives and our existence, but we're already gone. Who knows where we went? Different dimension, parallel world, you may have reincarnated. But this is just a feedback loop we're experiencing right now. We're living a feedback loop. We're living in our mind perception of reality. Everything that you've ever done, you've already do it. You're just going through, it's like a replay, watching a replay. It's like watching a news feed that's been delayed. Like the movie was already over, but because it was delayed, we're catching the delayed feed. That's the bigger implication of all of this. And with that, I'm going to leave it so you can think about that, and I'll catch you again on another live. All right?